So my friends Pooh and Denis bought a new house and they're getting the stairs redone. And these front steps here, they had those done professionally and they cost $120 each step. Now for the other steps in the back, there's a lot more steps, but they're a standard width. So they bought these thread and riser kits to put on there, and those only cost $40 a piece, and I agreed to put those on for them. So I brought my radial arm saw and I measured the length of each step on the stairs, and here I'm cutting the new steps to the exact length. I numbered each one of those so that I could put them exactly back in the same spot. So these are some replacement stair treads to put on existing stairs to dress them up a little bit. These are just the cut-offs, and they look really nice, except they overhang the stairs a bit. And also to get the riser behind them, I have to move these way forward. And that means they really overhang the existing step, and they come way past the riser here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the actual risers, not the scraps, and I'm going to cut a bevel off of the edge here so that it's really thin towards the top, so that these risers will all move back a little bit so that there's more support. So I marked on this board which slope that the front of the risers have of the existing stairs and which way they're going to end up. And I measured both of these angles, and the difference between those is 7 degrees, so that's what I set my table saw blade to, so that I can cut this as a taper. And I set the fence so that I can use the full depth of this to put a wedge on these pieces. And the boards aren't all entirely straight, so I'm using a feather board to really press it against the fence right here, so it'll force it straight while I'm cutting. My table saw is not that powerful, so I'm actually making a pre-cut of about half the depth, so that I don't have to cut the whole depth at once. Because I had to take the risers back to the shop anyways, I did all the lengthening of those in the shop. And I also had to rip a little bit off the width of them just to fit them in the right way. So I just put in the first step here, and then the riser fits on top of this step. But the riser's beveled on the back, and this is straight, and to give this a little bit more support against getting kicked in like that, if you look on here, the beveled edge only gives it support that much so it can still get kicked in. So I'm going to take this piece, which is a scrap wedge that I cut off when I cut these bevels on here, and I'm going to attach this in here about this height so I get more support for my riser. And the nail is only to fix it in place. The real strength comes from the construction adhesive that I'm using. Nice thing about construction adhesive is that it can span much larger gaps than wood glue. It's not quite as strong as wood glue, but for this, it's more than enough. It's not like this is a chair and somebody's going to rock in it. Put as many nails in the top edge as I want to, because that next stair thread is going to cover it, but towards the bottom I'll try to put as few nails in as possible. Let's check the fit for the next step here. That looks alright. Okay, so let's put some glue on here. back edge of this tread is going to get covered by the next riser, so I can nail as many nails in there as I want. Front edge is nice and in place already, so I won't have to nail that. I had to make some slight adjustment to the bottom edge of some of the risers, just because not all the stair treads ended up being flat once they were nailed down. Well, it's not entirely perfect. I forgot to adjust a few places. So for instance here there's a bit of a gap, and then on the end the stringers weren't all exactly the same distance and they're not all square, and I just cut the treads square, so there's some gaps that need to be filled here too. Well, that was a bit more work than I anticipated, with 2 trips back to the shop to cut these risers and having to bring a radio arm saw to cut these things off. So maybe those guys that are charging so much to do stairs, maybe they know what they're doing.